Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now August 27th of 2023. I hope you're all having an amazing weekend and Sunday. There's a lot of things going on with Star Wars, with Marvel, with of course the Disney live action remakes. Disney can't seem to shake the ongoing drama and fan criticism and different types of backlashes going against different franchises. Bob Iger, this is exactly why I always call him the worst CEO of our time. He really encourages all of this to really happen with the forced agendas in all of the upcoming movies and shows provided by Disney. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. And let's get right into exactly what's going on with Snow White director Marc Webb. Now, you guys may know him. He's most notably known from The Amazing Spider-Mans 1 and 2. He made those. He also took part in 500 Days of Summer. Those are really the three main movies that he made possible. Apart from that, Marc Webb really isn't all widely known among the common moviegoers, right? That just go ahead to the movies and check a film out. Which I think is all the more reason to understand exactly what's going on with Disney and the whole Marc Webb situation. Now, we know that everything related to Rachel Zegler has been a PR disaster, right? Those resurfaced interviews that really, went viral and took storm for Disney and really wasn't a good move at all to begin with. But let's get into exactly what's going on with Marc Webb and Rachel Zegler and how it led to a cancellation of a specific crucial moment or scene involving Zegler as Snow White. Now, with Snow White 2024 going through many issues behind the scenes, Disney has been dealing with much damage control to tame the backlash. However, one major development has to do with Snow White director Marc Webb and Rachel Zegler. However, as Disney higher-ups have been instructed Marc Webb on how to re-edit the film, as they are re-editing it, one big update is that he recently canceled a crucial scene from the film that featured Rachel Zegler. Get this, Marc Webb reportedly canceled an entire scene from the final cut of the film in which Zegler's Snow White kisses each of the magical creatures, aka the seven dwarfs, hands, as they line up and await a kiss. Initially, it was believed that there was no traditional kiss scenes in this film for the dwarfs from Snow White 1937. However, as it turns out, two scenes were filmed, one where she only hugs them, and one where she kisses their hands. The one with the hands was a part of the final cut until Marc Webb recently canceled it altogether and was instructed by Disney to delete the scene of Zegler kissing the magical creature's hands, as they found it would be too much for younger audiences and may confuse them to what's going on. Instead, Disney is now looking to throw in the scene in which Zegler only hugs the dwarfs. Unlike the original where they get a kiss on the head, a kissing of the hand apparently was too much for Disney to embrace. Now guys, let me stop here because this is where things just get purely crazy. Now look, I understand it may very well come across as very weird and odd for Zegler's Snow White to be kissing the hands of these, I don't even know what to call them, the seven weirdos. But when this happens, even that is innocent to a degree, essentially. She's just kissing their hand. Disney wanted to delete that because they feel it would be way too offensive. And look, by all means, I'm not saying that this is not weird. It is weird. But I don't believe it would have done anything bad among the young audiences to that degree. I think that, given that the 1937 original, had a kissing on the forehead scene with all the seven dwarfs, they could very well have done this in a way, perhaps, where it probably wasn't as offensive as they thought it actually was. Now, again, I cannot be clear enough. This is still weird. The fact that they went through with this, the fact that they have these seven magical creatures, getting a kiss on each hand by Snow White before she departs to take on the evil queen and fight her, it's still very strange. But at the end of the day, was it really all worth the trouble to go out of the way to have Marc Webb rearrange the whole third act and to water it down to simple hugs that's open for discussion and a big debate. I would like to hear your thoughts on that below. But it gets even worse. We're not done yet. We are not done yet. So let's get into this further. So, on top of that, with this scene featuring Zegler now cancelled and cut out of the film, the watered-down version will be inserted into the final cut. Now, this takes place toward the tail end of the third act, and surprisingly before the Evil Queen's demise, much different than the original film. The hugs that Zegler gives is meant for her departure to fight the Evil Queen alone, as she has Jonathan stay behind and watch the magical creatures, who all eventually go against Snow White's demands to stay put, as they later help her destroy the Evil Queen to her demise. Which, surprisingly of course, Marc Webb successfully agreed with Disney and was all for canceling the scene in which Rachel Zegler is kissing the magical creature's hands before her departure. Now guys, I would like to hear your opinion on that. Do you think that Disney should have gone through all the trouble to delete a scene that's going to cause more work for them, where Zegler just kisses their hand and moves on to the next, kisses another hand, moves on to the next, and in replacement of that, it's nothing more than a hug per magical creature? I really don't understand the biggest deal out of this, but at the end of the day, look, what they really should have done, and I will say this further, what they should have done is that they should have had either CGI dwarfs that honor the original designs, or they should have had actual dwarfs portray these roles, sending a message to people out there with dwarfism that they can get these kind of roles. You know, WB is doing something also with Wonka that's quite offensive, is that they have Hugh Grant playing a dwarf, or little person, whatever have you, on screen, and it's all done through CGI purposes. And that is literally deliberately saying you can't get these jobs, and it's putting them out of work. And it's also going to make it more challenging to get said roles, because now more and more studios are following that suit. So I would like to hear your take on that below, but this whole fiasco between Marc Webb, the director, the Disney demands, Rachel Zegler, and how, by the way, Zegler and Marc Webb do not get along, because Marc Webb and Andrew Burnap are good friends, and what she said about Burnap and how that resurfaced, it caused a lot of tension between the two. And the fact that Zegler went out of her way on camera a while ago, what resurfaced, where she was alluding to how Disney may cancel his scenes, when in reality there was never any kind of discussion of doing that, and how she says it's Hollywood, baby. It's almost like she's cheering or hoping for Andrew's scenes to get cut, because this movie has no, traditional Prince Charming or true love aspect to it. She probably feels, why is Jonathan even here to begin with, right? So I would like to hear what you guys have to say about this entire situation below in the comments. Anything ranging from this kissing scene getting deleted and watered down to a hugging scene, and the fact that Disney really went through the trouble of doing this is absolutely insane, because it's going to create a lot of work for them. It's going to create more pressure on Marc Webb, and the re-edits continue for this film. So anyway, guys, drop a comment below. Fill me below in the comments what you all have to say about this. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.